Aho, Broad Coven. Good day, freaks. Congratulations. I'm so proud of all of you who showed up, who got the ticket and went for the ride in our quest for Frogorock, the Sword of Truth, and owning your fire by obtaining the Spear of Lu. It's really cool. I'm in a park right now. I'm sitting on the roots of a tree. I happen to find like this school desk and little chair here that I've kind of like set up my own little makeshift studio. And it was really cool because as I came here, I felt really pulled to go to this particular space. And I've never really done any kind of like readings or drop-ins here. But everything that happens is significant when we're in this kind of play space. And as I came here, I had my confirmation, like job well done, which is I had 2 hawks come flying in. It was really beautiful. They were like doing this beautiful aerial dance and they were crying out. So this is real confirmation from spirit, job well done. And also right as that happened, I looked down on the ground and I saw a domino, and it happens to be 7, which is the number of spirit. It's also the number of luck. Domino, motherfuckers, like you did it, okay? Do look. It's really interesting. On the other side, I don't know if it'll pick up or translate here, but on the other side here, it says cardinal. And I thought that was wild because cardinal is also like messages from your ancestors, those who went before you. So your ancestors are really like proud of you for doing the work. We released a lot of bad blood, okay? This was all about purification because we can't really get something good cooking in the cauldron of Dagda until we've had purification. And the path is endless purification, which is a real core wisdom that I learned from my teacher on the 3rd road, another very fierce path. I only go for the fierce stuff. It's just the way I am. I was told by my first teachers, Sivan Gar and Oriel, that that's because I'm a woman of intensity. And so in order for me to grow, it requires that I go through really intense experiences. I didn't know what I was signing up for. Let me tell you, like, because it can be a really rough ride at times. At this point, I've gotten to this stage where I kind of like know what to expect when stuff comes up, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't still rock my world. But I'm able to kind of like move myself through it. Now, what is kind of challenging for me just in the work that I do is there's a reason why they nicknamed me Cobra at the Dhyana Center, where I worked as an Ayurvedic practitioner and was taught by Diana Batdorf, which I just want to send some respect to my teacher there. And I also want to, just before I go into that, I do want to like call in the light by bringing in a Mahakala mantra. Mahakala is the ruler over time. Black Mahakala helps to clear out all the darkness, all the enemies of the light, all those that would steal the light. We had Apophis come in, you know, even on that last download, like Apophis tried to take my light, man, you know? So it's like that energy is out there, right? And we need to combat it. Okay? Because until we really build this light, and it's about holding it in balance. It's not about saying the shadow is bad and light is good. This isn't about that. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, okay? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Interesting. You might want to do some kind of like spiritual bath, spiritual cleansing. If you don't have a tub, it's okay. You know, you can brew up a tea. I recommend bay leaf. All right. Bay leaf is excellent for just like clearing off, sloughing off all the heavy energy. You know, go sit on the roots of a tree. Strega Lizzie brought that in today. Yes, it's so valuable. You know, you can just gather up all the heavy feelings, all the emotions, all the old stuff, bundle it up, send it down, you know, the roots of the tree to be composted in the core of the earth, drink it back in as renewable energy that will like really give you prana and vitality as you move forward. Okay. So we're really just doing this at this point. We're out of the big top, right? We're out of the big top, okay? Crazy clown time is over. Killer clowns in outer space is over, all right? So this is really about us now just sinking in and letting things settle and entering this curiosity space of processing. And we might want to really internalize this at first. So I really want to encourage you all to take some space for yourselves to just drop in first alone, okay? Just create a little sacred space for yourself where you can sit alone, maybe in nature, maybe with a tree. Maybe you can even find like a power spot, you know, somewhere that will become your special place. And if you do decide to do that, you know, form a friendship with the tree, I do ask that you really make sure that you pay respect to the tree, because the tree holds a lot of energy for you. The tree holds a lot of energy for you. And you want to feed nature just as nature will feed you and support you. This is such an essential piece that we've lost. You know, people are always grasping for things. There's this greed energy out there in the collective, and we forget that we need to express gratitude. You should be grateful just because you woke up today, that you get to be in this garden of earthly delight. And there's so much beauty and there's so much wonder here, but we've lost it because we've lost our innocence. You know, our innocence has been tainted, it's been jaded, and we kind of like lose the way. So what we're really doing right now is we're all walking each other home, all right? And we're doing that by obtaining some medicines to put in our medicine bag. And I hope you really will create your own medicine bag. Let it be based on what speaks to you from your personal ancestral lineage, from your bloodline. Really call in the ancestors. Remember your roots. It's so important. In terms of like working with a tree, tobacco is a wonderful offering for trees. It's known as spirit candy, okay? Keeps the spirits very happy. It's also a very sacred offering for the ancestors. It's just very beautiful, okay? So, and you can do that in any way that feels right for you. I do know somebody who works with tobacco on a shamanic level. Her name is Tristan, and I might talk to Tristan. I might see if I can talk Tristan into coming on and doing a broadcast with me. So I'm really interested in collaborating in that regard, bringing people in to share their gifts. I feel like all of us have gifts to share. It's not about one person holding the power. It's not about one person, you know, holding it down for everybody. It's about us all holding our own power and building that power collectively, honoring each other's gifts, honoring each other's ashe. Okay, so it's a really beautiful journey. And I want to bring in this mantra from Black Mahakala just to really honor the roots, because I realize that what is coming forward here, what's being co-created in this space, is a psychonaut panchakarma. But there's this like illusion about what it means to be a psychonaut, that you have to take psychotropic plants, psychotropic drugs in order to access these states of consciousness. And I'm sure, as you discovered moving through the terrain we move through, it's not true. We have access to these playful spaces of consciousness. Now, you might not have always thought it was playful as we move through this, because we were moving through some dark material. And that's because we were moving through this process of purification. You can't get rid of the bad blood until you face the fear, until you look in the mirror and you realize, you know, that the enemy is you. All right, the devil is you. And it's kind of funny right now, actually, because among the reader set on YouTube right now, I got some people thinking I'm like the Wicked Witch. Oh, she's the devil. And I love it, because, you know, that's what it's all about. It's about me holding down that energy, that trickster energy, as we move through this cycle. Also, the Cobra piece. The way I work when I'm doing panchakarma, when I'm doing body work with somebody, when I'm doing energy work with somebody, when I'm holding space for them in panchakarma, which is an absolutely beautiful, very sacred journey of transformation, mind, body, spirit. It will totally change your life and open your road, which, by the way, want you to know the road is opened, okay? The road has been opened. We're not in the crossroads anymore, okay? So we're moving forward towards l'Ifer, our destiny, all right? But first, we got to get something cooking in the cauldron, all right? So gather your jewels, gather your medicines. And this coming in here, what I got with this that came in is that be on the lookout, okay? In your environment, you're going to get like some kind of little token, some little gift is going to come your way from spirit. It's going to come very synchronistically. And like this came in for me. So this is something for my medicine bag, okay? So there's something here that you need to gather. Okay, so it's like a treasure hunt energy. We're heading into more of the fun, lighter, easier. Okay, so this is now time to just sort of like clear things out, relax, sink in, drink in the grounding, get yourself some rest. Make sure you're nourishing your body. And we're just going to kind of like chase away the light with Mahakala, with a mantra. So if you want to just kind of sit here with me for a moment and just take a few nice, deep, cleansing breaths all the way down into your lower belly and release it. Just let everything go. Let it just like fall away from you like a slip. And again, taking a nice deep breath. And release. And again. And one more. Let's all breathe together with our prana. That life force energy. And just clear the channel, okay? Purification is a very important part of this process. And as my wise teacher in fairy of the third road tradition, which is a really spicy path, Francesca de Grandis says, the path is endless purification. And anytime we're working with the uses of power, we have to learn some pretty fierce lessons about what happens when we misuse power, all right? So it's something everybody goes through. Right? It's something everybody goes through. When you're questing to learn about shamanic principles, you really have to understand that there's a responsibility and accountability of wielding power. So if you're using your power to cause harm or to inspire fear in others, if you are operating in this way, then you are an enemy. You are an enemy to fairy. Okay, and this is what we've been working within the realm of. We've been working within the realm of fairy. And fairy does not appreciate love being betrayed. Fairy will whoop your ass. They will whoop your ass if you betray love, okay? The heart of fairy is love. That is the power of fairy. And fairy understands that we have to love the dark places. We have to love them into the light, you know? So both have value. Both are medicine. They're two sides of the same coin. And I've brought this in many times on different downloads, and I really want to address it and bring it in right now. And that's that I don't like this use, like when we're talking about magic specifically, I don't like the use of the term black magic, okay? In the sense of saying there's black magic, there's white magic, and white magic's good and black magic's bad. This is such dogmatic thinking. It's also, you know, very ignorant, and it's casting a racist tone over the uses of power, and it's absolute bullshit. And it's time for us to really release the shackles of oppression and understand that magic is just magic. And the way that magic weaves its way through our world is all about the heart of the person who is directing that wand, how they are using their fire, how they are directing their intention. Okay, so let's cleanse all this away. This is very essential at this time. Some of the elders of the Native American Indian tribes have been speaking recently. I would just love it if there's any Native American Indian elders out there who would like to come on and like hold space and like talk to people here at Broad Coven, because I don't feel it's my place to talk about Heyoka medicine, but I would really love it if we could get somebody on here, you know, that could bring that piece in, just to provide like some roots education. I feel it's so important to honor the roots, and I feel it's so essential that if you want to know more about the roots, you gotta go the bloodline, okay? It's very, very essential. Now, I work with root work, but I also have Native American Indian blood. I have Comanche blood, okay? So that is, you know, a line of root work, all right? very, very, very common to have a fusion, especially when we're looking at traditions that come out of like New Orleans, you know, the Creole traditions and such, where there's a real fusion, okay, incorporating Native American Indian root work, okay. So this is part of my magic. It's part of my path. All right. But if you want to know about like hoodoo, for example, you need to go to that bloodline. You need to go to an elder in that bloodline. And if that's something you're very interested in, which we really need to stop demonizing these different approaches, okay, to spirituality. We need to really reclaim the gifts of our bloodline in terms of our magical lineages, our wild wisdom, all right? So if you want to learn about a tradition from another culture, it's so important that you go to an elder in that tradition and pay your elders respect. It's so important. We got to pay the elders respect. And in regard to that, I just want to bring forward an elder within that tradition. Also the tradition of Yoruba. She works with many different traditions. She's like such a powerhouse of a woman. And that is Yeye Louisa Tish. I absolutely love her. I have been so blessed to be able to work with her. She's taught me some things. She's taught me some Orisha dance. I've always felt just really called to the Orisha. And I always felt like, oh gosh, you know, am I allowed to work with this? Because I never want to like disrespect the cultural traditions. And I found nothing but welcoming. And I really respect Louisa Tish because she also does some work with Leilani, who is a kahuna, okay? And they have written some really excellent books where they've done all this cross-cultural referencing. And I'm getting this vision of like, this is part of our stew. This is part of our collective cauldron, because we have to understand when we're coming into this point of unity, we're bringing all of our magics together into one good stew. Now we can really get cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can cook something up that can like heal this land. It can heal this land. And the Native American elders have been bringing forward very strongly lately that we're having the activation right now of the Navajo prophecy, which is all about gathering the rainbow tribe, okay? So this is the prophecy time where it doesn't matter what your spiritual belief is. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. We are meant to come together into the truth, which the truth is we are united. We're all one energy. We are creator. We are great spirit role playing through these outer shells. So when I look in my enemy's eyes, I'm looking into the eyes of creator, and creator is looking back at me. And it's very much like that piece that I brought in when we're looking at fairy tradition where, you know, Danu, you know, created the universe and she was admiring the reflection of the universe and she just thought it was so beautiful. But then after a while, she got kind of bored. You know, she's like, I want to have, you know, my counterpart, to gaze into my counterpart's eyes. And so she pulled, you know, Dianeglis, you know, out of her, or by many different names, okay? These are primordial energies, and they're the same energies that are found throughout all cultural traditions, even those who follow Christianity paths, okay? So anywhere where we're looking at division points, where we look at us versus them, we're losing the way, all right? Because it's time for us to get on the good red road. That's the only way we're going to make it through this, man. We have to. We have to pull our energy together collectively right now. It's essential. We are moving through the final stages of the age of Kali Yuga. We got Aries, the initiator, the magician, holding down the North Node. That's our destiny point. We know there is no way for us to move forward and transform our reality, our situation, until we learn how to be alchemists. We have to be sorcerers. And we have to do this together, collectively. And the challenge, it seems impossible, right? Impossible. How can you look at your worst enemy and find a way to understand that it's also a reflective vision of the collective consciousness? And how can you love that out of the dark? Oh, it's fierce. It's fierce medicine. And it's understanding that as long as we fuel hatred, and as long as we play the blame game, and as long as we say, oh, it's us versus them, you are part of the fucking problem. And you need to get the fuck out of the way and do some work and get your head straight and open up spaces for conversations where it's like really dicey terrain, okay? Where maybe you think somebody's really ignorant, maybe you think they're really hateful, okay? But you have to hold space for them to come to a new realization and also an understanding of their roots. Like, how did this sickness get here? How did we invest in this lie of separation? And how can we love it back into a place of unity? It's fierce. And if you cannot alchemize that within yourself, we'll never be able to do it as a global community. And it's really essential that we do right now. So I just want to first, before I go into why I got the nickname Cobra, I want to bring in the mantra for Black Mahakala. Because Black Mahakala is the destroyer of all enemies of truth. He is the destroyer of all enemies of love. And there's no overcoming Black Mahakala. It's a very fierce medicine. And Mahakala also is the ruler of time. So he can help us. You know, he can help us achieve things that we feel like maybe we don't have the time to achieve. Because the age of the Kali Yuga is up in the middle of 2025, at the same time that the nodes of destiny shift. And right now, Libra is holding down the south node. So we got Ma'at energy in the house, right? We're really like having our heart weighed against the feather. Is your heart lighter than a feather? This is such important work that we're all doing. And we're all going to have our stuck points. We're all going to have our points where we need help in the transformation. So please, let's not look down our nose at anybody, okay? We all got our shit. Everybody steps in shit sometimes. We all got shit that stinks, all right? So, you know, nobody's any better than anybody else at the end of the day. And we're not going to get there unless we all get there together. It just really, for me, brings back that dream that I had. And I didn't really understand it at the time, but like, it's really crystallizing now. And I just think there's just so much beauty in that symbolism of, you know, getting from one shore to that distant shore, but we got to swim as one pod if we're going to make it, okay? So let's really, it begins with us, all right? Because you have to understand that if we build the fire of transformation with us, it builds the light, okay? And as we build this light, more people are drawn in, okay? And they contribute. Now we're all adding or kindling to this fire of transformation, okay? I'm like, you know, the downloads are just coming in so strong. But I want to try to just really like focus. Okay. So let's hold some space for Mahakala. I'm going to just call in Mahakala to watch over us, just to help us, just kind of like cleanse away any remnants of the shadow that is clinging to us, to help support us in this clearing work, this purification work, this transformation. Om Mahakala Kala Bekala Ratrita Dambini Kandali Rakshisi Singali Diva Byo Hung Fet Om Shri Mahakala Hung Fat Om Mahakala Kala Bekala Ratrita Dambini Kandali Rakshisi Singali Diva Byo Hung Fet Om Shri Mahakala Hung Fat Om Mahakala Kala Bekala Ratrita Dambini Kandali Rakshisi Singali Diva Byo Hung Fet Om Shri Mahakala Hung Fat. I don't know if you heard that, but the hawks contributed. You hear them? Oh, beautiful, beautiful energy. And there's a butterfly. Okay, so be on the lookout for butterflies, be on the lookout for sunflowers, be on the lookout for dandelion seed heads. I called in this really beautiful, light, whimsical kind of space around us that will be in place through the weekend, okay? But it's a beauty space, all right? It's coming into like a childlike sense of wonder. It's sunny, it's bright, it's that place where you can kind of reconnect with seeing the world through eyes of wonder, like you did when you were a kid. Great imaginary like play space. The energy is more whimsical, it's more fun, it's more gentle. Okay, so we're really moving into the light now. So I wanted to talk about, you know, this Cobra medicine and the fire test of truth. All right. And I also wanted to talk about the keys, about I have the keys, because this is a key point. And this is going to be my key that sets me free from the judgment of the reader community, who's out there saying that I'm some evil broad, you know. And I don't care. I'll sit in the hot seat. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide, man. And all of it ain't me. You know, it has nothing to do with me, actually. I'm totally like, I get out of the way. Every time I come here and I do a download, I purify myself. I ask that I'm like a hollow bamboo. Whatever needs to come through, comes through. It's not me. I have to watch the downloads later because I don't even know half the time what came through. And I need the memo too, okay? So that needs to be understood here. Cobra medicine is where you imbibe a bit of the poison to arrive at the cure. So all this energy got stirred up, right? You know, and, you know, some people had, you know, some rough rides. They were really going through it, you know, and we had these beautiful teachers, you know. You might have seen it if you're friended up with me on Facebook. And if you're not friended up with me on Facebook, you can find me at Shannon Elsom on Facebook, and you're free to follow me, okay? You can comment on any of the posts. I'm really good with responding to the community, really good with, you know, holding space, bring your piece in. I really want to honor the pieces that you have to bring in, all right? I'm really switching the format of my Facebook. I'm making it just like a real fun, creative space, and also a real deep, soulful space for us to process what comes through. It's going to be like kind of an extension of Broad Coven on YouTube, okay? So please feel free to follow me. You're welcome. If you're drawn to this, you're welcome. The more, the better. All right. So let's really build the Broad Coven. And this is the first purification right here. I have a lot of readers on YouTube that are really putting forward a lot of negative connotations in regard to the name I chose for the channel, Broad Coven, which was actually inspired by my broads, Vi and Bella. We were in a burlesque troupe together, and it was just like this, we had this really beautiful connection with each other where we always uplift each other, we always support each other, you know, we show up for each other. There's just this real cool synergy between us that's really hard to find. I have to say it, it's really hard to find among women. All right. There's a reason why I tend to hang out with dudes more. All right. And the reason why I do is because I find so often women just get into this like real base, competitive jealousy energy. And I don't understand it. I've never in my life have I felt jealous of another. Never in my life have I felt competitive with another. I've always been able to like witness the gifts in other people and just really, I want to support that, right? I want people to bring forward their gifts, and I hope that you will do that too. And if this is some of the like material that you bumped up against as you were doing this work, I really encourage you, like, please, like, start challenging yourself, you know, when you see somebody shining, when you see somebody bringing something of value forward, when you see somebody contributing something to the collective that uplifts it, please, you know, give that person a shout out, like shine a spotlight on them, like encourage them. There's enough to go around for everybody. And it's the spirit of the potlatch, you know, like this building community, like nobody left behind, like we all take care of each other. It's the only way we're going to find our way through. All right. So, you know, as you know, with the big top, with the big top download that I brought in, it got kind of fierce. Okay. And, there was a portion that I like opened up with, right? Where I was like, I got the keys. And there was a specific reason why I was doing that. Because it's like a reflection. Look at this beautiful bag. Coconuts. Coconuts gave me this beautiful bag. I love it so much, Coconuts. Thank you. I didn't know what I was going to use this for, and now I do, so thank you. Coconuts also gave me the keys. And there's actually keys in here, okay? There are so many keys in this bag. You never were trapped, okay? It's a joke. It's a joke. It's clowning. Nobody was I didn't put anybody in a bag and bind them up. But if you saw that and you got scared, it's because there's some place in you where you've been exercising this energy toward another. And that's why it dinged something in you. You might have felt like lashing out. You might have felt like, well, she's binding us. I'm going to have to go get her. But, you know, silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids, okay? Got rabbit medicine in there. We got the snake medicine, the cobra medicine in there. Look at it, it's a toy, okay? It's all fun and games. I got all my crystals in here that I work with. And then I have these beautiful keys, okay? I got so many of them. I'm not going to pull them all out, okay? But I got these beautiful keys, and there's all different kinds of keys in here, which I plan on doing something with down the road, which I'll let you know about. I also got in there the hawk feather, all right, that is to help y'all have some perspective, to get a different perspective. There's sacred herbs in here. I got sage in here. I have rose petals in here. And I got angelite in here. I got Herkimer diamond in here. I got a rose quartz, and actually I offered you all my talisman for the third road that was consecrated. So you had fairy working with you. And I even brought in a little sacred fungi medicine and put it in the bag too. All right. So this is what I'm talking about. We don't need to imbibe anything. You can actually just call forth the spirit of the plant ally, and it'll hold it down for you to enter into that kind of like dream time space. Okay, so this was all just a joke. It was all just a joke. Okay, and then, also the piece, I was hearing like, oh, she's so aggressive because I took the spear, that the arrow is beautiful. That wand that I have that has the obsidian arrow tip, and it has like I think it's a tiger iron on the other side. And it's just so beautiful. It's got buckskin, and it was all, gathered together with a lot of reference on Pomo land. Okay. Everything was ethically harvested, and within, the tradition, and it's just a really special medicine piece for me. I like to use it as a talking stick when I'm working with groups of people, so there can be non-violent communication, which is so essential anytime that we're working through thorny issues, so we can allow people to have the floor without interruption, without anybody making them wrong, without anybody speaking over them or, telling them what their truth is, because the reality is, there is no ultimate truth. Your experience is your truth. And nobody can take that from you. Now, you can invite in a fresh perspective, all right? But nobody has, like the real estate on truth here. And absolute truth is very like, it's sort of that Neptunian energy. You can't really like grasp that, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just for now, just for the sake of that, I just want to let you all know that I don't got you trapped in some bag, all right? You're free. You've always been free. And that's what the medicine is. You've always been free. You got the keys. They're all inside of you. I don't got your keys. You got your keys. You got to dive into your subconscious. You got to make the subconscious conscious. You got to take that material. You got to expose it to the light. No mud, no lotus, all right? No mud, no lotus. And it's when you do that that you realize, oh, I've had the answers inside of me all along. Just like Dorothy, like, I had the power all along. Okay, so along this way, remember, we got this interesting parallel with the whole yellow brick road. Well, we just opened up the yellow brick road, all right? And by the time we get to that Emerald City, we're going to be arriving at that stone of destiny, LIABILITY, okay? So this is just a really beautiful, whimsical journey. And for me, I'm loving it because it's been totally mused, and there's like a lot of musing energy coming forward right now. So please, if you feel called to create something, if you feel called to create a song, if you feel called to create a piece of art, if you feel called to create poetry, let that come through. And I encourage you, like, share it. You know, you can go on to Broad Coven when I put up posts. You can go on Facebook when I put up posts. I'll start to put up like community share posts, you know, where you can like share things you're creating and we can highlight you and you can share your gifts with all of us. It's beautiful medicine. And in that way, we're kind of gathering all of our medicines together. Okay, so people have vilified me for this Broad Coven. Like, I can't tell you how much hatred and ire I've had directed at me because I'm going by this name Broad Coven. Now, it's true that initially, when I was in this, you know, burlesque troupe with Vi and Bella, you know, Broad Coven, what inspired us were those kind of like 1960s kind of like occult flicks, right? We wanted that feel and we just liked it. We liked the imagery of it. We're all broads. We're broads of the decades, you know, we're each exactly 10 years apart from each other in age. I'm the crone of the group. All right. And we just have this like beautiful synergy together. And it was really the spirit of the broad, you know, just having the ability to really, you know, own who you are, be brash with it, be bold with it, you know, and so it was that, you know, that's kind of like what came forward initially. But then as the vision develops, which is what always happens when we kind of start to tug a creative thread, right? It takes you deeper. It takes you deeper down the rabbit hole. And then soon I started noticing when I was talking about things, everything was like the broad perspective, you know, broad horizons. And I was like, oh, I get it. I get it. You know, this is about expansion. It's about opening up the view. And then I really thought about, well, what does coven really mean? You know, everybody associates it with witches, but it's not. Coven just means gathering of people. And I was like, ooh, I love this. Because I'm a Discordian, okay? So I work with this kind of material where I like to post things that sometimes get me in trouble. I don't mind sitting in the hot seat. And everything that I do is to challenge people's views. And it's so they can kind of get a different perspective and realize that, you know, maybe they're not seeing something accurately. And I've had to kind of like educate people. I'm like, look, Broad Coven is just like, we're people of diverse backgrounds, all races, all you know, economic statuses, all lifestyles, all genders, all association, you know, all of it. We come from all different walks of life and we all have value. You know, we're all worthy of love. We're all worthy of healing. We all deserve to have safe, respectful space held for us. And so regardless of whether somebody else's truth matches your own, it's kind of a moot point. It doesn't matter. We got like this grid that's over reality, and you got your little window in the grid that you peek through, right? And you may find people that are like, yeah, I share that view. I look through that window too, you know, and that's really cool when you kind of like find people that you really click with on that level. But that doesn't mean there's not something you can't learn, you know, by gazing through somebody else's window too, right? So this is about being open, all right? Another thing I want to bring in is often when we think of mentors, we only think of elders, okay? I encourage you, get yourself some millennial mentors. They can teach you so much. They may have certain things that like us Generation Xers feel like they could learn, like work ethic, you know, we can help them out with that. All right. But they have a hell of a lot to teach us about emotional transformation, about broadening our perspective, about embracing new views. So I really encourage you to, you know, get yourself some millennial elders. Well, you know, that is kind of an advanced sort of wisdom. I see people much older than them that haven't arrived there yet. Okay. And I have young people that I really value their medicine. I just want to give a big shout out to my broad, wilder, sharp teeth. At the sharpest teeth, all right? The sharpest teeth, you can find the link to their YouTube page, and it's under I like have channels that I feature because I believe in celebrating other readers on YouTube too, okay? I highlight readers that really speak to me. It doesn't take anything away from me and what I have to offer. I just don't get this whole like mindset, this like greed mindset, okay? So anyway, right? And that's really what we were working with in this particular journey that we just went through, releasing the sin of greed and cleansing ourselves of the need to control things, the need to define another's experience for them, and the way we like to blame and vilify somebody if their earth walk is different from us, okay? So this is about us really pulling things together. Okay, so there was this portion. See, this is what happens with me. I like go down the rabbit hole. I come back around. There was this portion in that last download where I take, you know, I take that one and I start whipping, you know, the camera. And I think, you know, a lot of people were kind of like freaked out about that. You know, why is she directing this energy at us? Hello, whose reflection am I whipping when I'm whipping the camera? It's my own. It's my own. And that's what Cobra medicine is about. I'm helping with the heavy lifting, okay? That's the kind of work I do. It's the same work I do in Panchakarma when I'm working in an Ayurvedic capacity. I'm holding space for people's deepest wounds. I'm holding space for their deepest traumas. And I know how to hold that space. I know it intimately because I've lived through it. I lived through it. I got myself through that. Okay, so I know what it means to be down on the bathroom floor for 3 fucking days straight, non-stop, sobbing, naked, and just totally fucking lost. I know what it feels like to go an entire decade feeling like I'm a zombie because I don't even remember who I am. I feel no connection to my old identity. I went through this experience. I've been through several soul retrievals. This is why I started doing this work. And when I was in that space where I was just completely empty, and if you're ever in this space where you're like, I have no hope, there is no meaning to my life, there is no reason to be here, give. Give. That's what led me to the path of getting into transformational body work. Because I said, I have no reason to live. I don't want to be here. I don't feel connected here anymore. And if I'm going to keep going, I have to find some way to stay here. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just go and I'll offer care and I'll hold space for others who are struggling. And it may be in that way. Maybe my life has some meaning. Maybe my life has some purpose. And it's the best decision I ever made, okay? So when I'm working with Cobra medicine and when I'm holding space for people, you know, I also brought in this piece, like some of you will be cleansed by water. Some of you will be cleansed by fire. Everybody's like, oh, hell no, I'm going to go for the water. I don't want to be cleansed by fire. But remember, it's the fire test of truth. Are you willing to walk through the fire? And if you see somebody else walking through the fire, are you willing to put out your hand and say, I got you. And I'm scared too, but I got you. Just take my hand. I'm going to walk through it with you. I'll take some of it on for you. And that's what it means when you hold space for Panchakarma. That's what it means when you walk through the fire of transformation. That's what it means to really be purified. That's what it means when it comes to the fire test of truth. Will you go through the fire with somebody? Through the fire, to the limit, to the wall. Just to be with you, I'd gladly risk it all. So I went through the fire with you. I went through the fire with you. Those of you who were in the fierce trenches of karma burning off, I went there with you. I went there with you. I imbibed a bit of that poison and I ran it through my own body and went there with you so I could take some of the load off of you. Because the reality is with this kind of work, you know, if you do it alone, you break like I did. You break, you shatter into a million pieces, but there's beauty in the brokenness. And I don't want anybody to have to go through that. I don't want anybody to have to go through that. So I said, I'll go through the fire with you. Yeah, I'll go through the fire with you because I'm a kamikaze. I'll crash and burn. So when you all were in the trenches, oh man, I felt it, man. There's a lot of fear out there in the collective. There's a lot of rage out there in the collective. There's a lot of deep pain out in the collective. And I wrote it with you, all right? I Merc-righted with you. And I felt it. And then it makes me sick. That's what happens. It makes me sick. It wears me out. It makes my body burn. It gives me problems with my body. I have problems walking. My legs hurt. I'll vomit, you know. It's not an easy ride, but I ride it out. I ride it out with you because that's how the energy gets transmuted, okay? So I was right there with you. I went into the fire with you. And it's so funny because it's all just smoke and mirrors. And I even told you. I told everybody. I'm like, it's illusory. You know, it's smoke and mirrors. We're in a creative play space. I wasn't doing anything. Any fear that you were encountering, any resistance that was coming up in you, nobody was doing it to you. It was your own shit. It was your own shit. And I was helping hold your shit with you. Okay. So I got you. All right. I got you. I got your back. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this journey. I just think it's so beautiful. And as I'm saying this, I'm noticing a bee is buzzing around. Bees always make me think of Oshun. Oshun brings the sweet waters, okay? So bring in some sweet waters, you know, this weekend. Take some cleansing baths. If you're fortunate enough to live by a body of water, go and spend some time there. You can even bring offerings, a very simple offering anybody can do, which is really nice to connect with the energy of Yemaya, who's the Orisha of the ocean. She's like a big mama energy, you know. She helps us let go. She helps us surrender. You can go and get like white lilies. White lilies are a flower medicine of really honoring the deaths in our lives. You know, I hear on YouTube all the time people say unalive. No, it's not unalive. It's death. It's death. And we need to look at the reality of death. Death is a reality. Like we're all going to die. And I think it's very interesting that people are so on this like, we're in 5D. No, we're not, man. We don't get to bypass our earthly experience. We are in this body. We are here in this physical reality. And we got to find the way through together, okay? But I love this bee imagery coming in, you know, because it's talking about that like pollination, you know, and that causes things to grow, you know, it causes the flowers to grow. And it's also the nature of reality, which all of the nature of reality is sexual. It's, you know, these energies, the masculine, the feminine, you know, doing this sacred dance and birthing these beautiful new things into being. And that's the dance we're all doing right now. Okay. So yes, all these pieces coming in, all these pieces coming in. I am going to take tomorrow off. Okay. When I do Panchakarma, I normally take a week off. This isn't quite as intensive. Well, I don't know. It was intensive in a different way. It was more mentally intensive, I would say, than anything else. Normally Panchakarma can be very, well, it's it's mentally intensive, but it's also really physically intensive, panchakarma with all the body work, and just all the space holding. But I feel a need to just really drop in and rest tomorrow. And even though I normally post, I'm not going to post tomorrow. And I don't think I'm going to be on Facebook tomorrow either. I think I'm just going to like really just drop in and let myself just, you know, get a little cocoon and just nurture myself and kind of tend to the little one inside and just kind of close out my own experience. I hope that you will do that too. I hope you'll give yourself that space. I hope that you enjoy sharing your experience with your loved ones. And if they're curious, you know, you can invite them to come along. You know, you can invite them in. They can always catch up and, you know, they can kind of look at the old videos. And if they're like, well, I don't want to go through that without, you know, Shannon holding the space for it. And please, because I don't want to hold the space for I don't want to hold them again. Okay, they're welcome to quest for the Leafale and also the Cauldron of Dagda, because that's the next one we're really going to be questing for. They're welcome to do that. Okay, they're welcome to bring their energy in. They'll have the benefit though, unlike you all did, because you're the OGs here, all right? They'll have the benefit of kind of knowing what they're getting into. You all got tricked, okay? You got tricked. You probably wouldn't have signed up for it if I would have laid it all out for you, if I would have told you what was in store. I hope you won't be too mad at me about it, all right? It's all for our good. It's all for our good. It's all for our benefit. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really want to bring in. Bottom of the deck energy, look what we're coming into. Please stop looking at, you know, there's no hope. We got 10 of Cups here. This is like ultimate fulfillment. I decided I just wanted to pull just a few cards. It says Divine Warrior, confounds the wicked, brings victory and peace, all right? So this is so beautiful for us to marry our energies this way. I'm just going to get just a few cards. I think actually what I'm probably going to do is just get a nice like cut of the deck here, right? And then I'm going to be MIA. I'm going to be MIA except for dropping in for the live of this, okay? I will drop in for the premiere of this. I'm going to upload it. And I don't know when it'll upload. YouTube upload times radically vary. But I'll be there to share space with you all, answer your questions. Then I'm going to take the next day off, drop in real deep, restore myself. I'm going to do some spiritual cleansing. And I also think I'm going to do some like... setting up my recording studio space. I've been really wanting to do that and just bringing a lot of intention into that. So, yes, please don't DM me. Don't DM me on my day off, okay? Let me have that space. Also, you know, the same thing applies with, you know, my days off. I like to put real, like, firm boundaries around these things. So my days off are Sundays and Mondays. Please don't DM me on Sundays and Mondays. Please don't DM me processing what came up for you in one of the reads that I brought forward in my DMs. I spend a lot of time serving the community and I give it freely, all right? I give it freely. And when I am not on Broadcub and YouTube, it's my time. It's my time to pour into myself and give to myself and receive. So if you have something you need to process, if you have something you want to bring in, I am honored to hold that space for you. But you can get a session with me because that's the work that I do, right? And it's very important that I put parameters around that because it can become a very draining energy for me. All right. I do the best I can. All right. I give as much as I can. I give and I give and give as much as I can. But I have to put some boundaries around it or else I'm just going to become depleted. And a priestess makes all things sound. So if you're not tending to yourself, if you're not filling your own cup, you're of no service to anybody else. All right. So those are my firm boundaries. All right. And really, in general, I don't like to process stuff from reads in my DMs, like at all. I can't tell you right now in my DMs on Facebook, it's just like, and I love you. I mean, bless your hearts. I love you. Okay. But there's so many people that are writing novels to me. I'm like, I just don't have the bandwidth. I just don't. I love you. I don't have the bandwidth, okay? So you're welcome to bring it in the comments section on YouTube or to hop in on the live chats. I'm happy to hold that space for you there. I welcome it. And I appreciate, I also want to say no shame around that at all, no judgment around that at all. Thank you. I really appreciate that you trust me to share that with me, to share these deep truths with me. I honestly do. And I do read them, okay? I do read them, but it's a lot, okay? It's a lot. So I just really want to bring that piece in and just to kind of like really establish my boundaries. It's very important. And I think with the work that I do and have done for 27 years now, holding these kind of healing spaces for people, it's a lesson I really had to learn on my path. The necessity of having good boundaries. It's so essential, okay? If you're tired, if you're worn out, if you haven't given yourself enough rest, if you're hangry because, you haven't had anything to eat, you're not getting, time to engage in pleasurable activities, time for your self-care, then your giving comes from a spoiled place, It comes from a place that doesn't benefit anybody, because when you give from that place, you give out of a space of resentment. So you want to give from a place where you feel really full and like you got it to give, okay? Very, very key for this work that we're doing. It's really spicy. I got some things that are already like cooking in my cauldron. It's like this always happens with me. I get all these ideas. I'm like, well, now that this came in, I can do this and I can do this and I can create this. And my visions are just like expanding and getting like broader, right? So I'm really like looking forward to co-creating with people on like some special projects or like special events. I just want to put it out there. I don't know if they'll hear about it, but if they do happen to drop in, healing vibrations, I would love to collaborate with you all on some sound bath stuff, bringing it in here, okay? I'd really love to do something with you where we can kind of collab together if you'd be open to that, because I just think it could be like so tremendously valuable. And I hope that you'll drop in with the full moon, blue full moon sound bath that they did. It's just, it's so excellent. And the integrity of the space they create with their sound therapy sessions is just really beautiful, all right? So Ashay, sending out some love their way, mad respect. I'd love to do something and put something really special together with the community. Also Chris, my yogi brother from the Dhyana Center. He's also a phenomenal guitarist, musician. Chris, I would really like to do some collaboration with you as well, okay? Any of my Dhyana Center tribe, I would love to do some collaboration. Let's make some magic happen, man. It could be really cool, okay? We can do like little one-off events and stuff. So let's talk, okay? All right, let's see here. I'm feeling called to select the last one. Yeah, okay. Bottom of the deck, look at this. The moon in reverse. So we're no longer in that energy. It's going south. Like, okay, we release that. We're letting go of that energy that we processed with the moon. And this is all about moving into this space now where we're just letting all that go. We're letting it just kind of like slide away from us. And we're just taking the medicine from it forward, okay? So we're not going to be in that weird, like, oh, what's going on, what am I seeing here? What's this illusion I'm bumping up against? Okay, cut of the deck energy. All right, the Hanged Man. Desire for knowledge protects from liars, evil, spells, and bad spirits. So the Hanged Man is really about, like, letting go. Letting go. You have no choice but to just like kind of hang out and just get a different perspective. And I love that because it's so fairy, right? Like in fairy, everything that's upside down is actually right side up. So it's a really beautiful medicine to work with. And look at that Empress on the other side here, the transmutation. Okay, so this is so good. This is so beautiful. This is you gain the knowledge. Some of you, I have to say, if you've been, you know, journeying through this with me, if you've been doing these questing experiences, you might have been having some Kundalini activation. We can do a video about that where I can kind of talk about what are some sensations that you might be experiencing. I've had 2 uncoilings, all right? So I'm familiar with this and kind of what can happen in the body. It's very helpful to kind of have some awareness around that so you understand that what you're experiencing is normal, all right? And there's a way to work with it. You can really work with the breath and the way to raise the energy, so we can talk about that a little bit. There's nothing to fear about it. You know, it's really about coming into your sexual empowerment as well. And there's this piece about that being healing. It's like sexual healing, and to just reclaim this. It's your creative sexual energy. You know, there's no shame in this. And those of you who maybe have trauma histories around your sexuality, you have trauma histories, shame around your body, you know, shame around pleasure. This Kundalini activation can be so transformational in regard to that, right? So, you know, maybe we'll bring a piece of that in. But here we got that Ace of Cups that the Empress is holding here. Really beautiful imagery. The snake is, you know, imbibing of the cup, okay? And it says fertility and fruitfulness assures peace between married couples, okay? So I think it's just the time right now with Venus retrograde. So many planets in retrograde right now. Actually, we got 6 planets in retrograde where a lot of people are doing relationship healing work, okay? So use the medicine that you got and bring it forward by invoking a little bit of those sweet waters with Oshun, and with that ritual, that cleansing ritual, very simple ritual, okay? Nothing that's going to take you into the big top, all right? You can just go to the ocean if you're fortunate enough to live by the ocean. Giving a shout out to all my soul family out in California, okay? So just sending a lot of love to Hawaii, okay? Please, I really encourage you to just like raise the vibration of love to Hawaii. Just send them a lot of love. Send the energy of the sweet waters to Hawaii, all right? They need it. They need to feel our support over there, okay? So contribute your energy and give them some support just in the ethers, all right? It's so essential. But there's this piece here where you can go and you can get white lilies, which are about respecting the deaths, or what Clarissa Pinkola Estes calls las grandes muertes. It's the psychological deaths. It's the shedding of illusions. It's the layers of veils slipping away where we can finally see ourselves as we are and arrive at this place of total, complete vulnerability and acceptance. So, you know, Yemaya can really help with this. You can get these white lilies, and you can go and you can just imbue, you know, whatever it is you need to release, because I'm sure that something came forward for you. You know, there's some shadow aspect. There's something inside of you that has been holding you back, and this is your opportunity to really let it go and give it over to the mother. Give it over to the salt water. Let it be cleansed. And if you don't live near, you know, a body of water, you can also give something symbolic that you can give over to the earth. Maybe put, you know, tuck away in the roots of a tree for the tree to kind of ground out. And if you're going to do that, I really encourage you, again, you know, work with tobacco, because it is a very sacred medicine and it's spirit candy. And please also give an offering to spirit. However you relate to that. Even if you're an atheist, you know, even just give it to Mother Nature, okay? Nature's all around you. That's something you can connect with, okay? So just give some gratitude. Give something to the earth. Maybe, you know, pour some kind of offering to the earth and just say, thank you for supporting me. And when we remember our connection to the earth, we open up the floodgates of abundance, and there's more than enough for everyone. And it's when we forget this and we lose our connection to the earth that we find that the road is closed. Well, the road's been open now. So we move out of the crossroads. We're moving forward now. We're all moving together. And thank you so much. I'm so honored that you are allowing me to hold this space for you, and that you're willing to go here, that you're willing to even explore this terrain with me, that you were willing to take a chance, that you got the ticket and went for the ride. And I just want to say I love all of you, and I'll talk to you soon. I'll be around. I'll be around, okay? I'll be around on I don't even know what day it is. Whatever day it is, tomorrow I'm not going to be there. I'll be there the next day, okay? I'm only going to take one day off. I'll be back, all right? And I'll be bringing in a download around the Cauldron of Dagda on Saturday. We'll drop in on that one. And as far as the Once in a Blue Moon Supermoon series, actually, we're not doing Once in a Blue Moon Supermoon series. We're going to be working with the next supermoon that is to come up, which will be the one in Aries on the 29th. I will make sure that for the Once in a Blue Supermoon that didn't get completed, which are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, those will all be done by the end of next week. Okay, I'm going to give myself a little cushion there so I can really bring in a quality download for you. And the guidance that comes in there, it's really going to support you as we move up to that transition point of the final supermoon in these 4 supermoons, which will be in Aries on the 29th of September. All right, enjoy yourself and have a beautiful time of integration. And I'll see you soon. Take care.